Jamaica Productivity Center, our ultimate goal is to promote and facilitate improvements in productivity at all levels in the society. We do this at the individual, firm, industry, and national levels.
We interpret that mandate in such a way that we try to impact every segment of the society. So we try to inculcate the productivity culture at the individual level. We try to do that at, even in schools. We try to do it in the workplace, and we try to let people understand when we are more productive, what are the benefits to the society and our world.
Persons sometimes when they think of productivity, they think of machine or getting new machine or money, but it really starts here with us. So it's me coming to work today, saying, I'm going to do good today. And I'm going to do better than yesterday. And tomorrow I'm going to be better than today. That is productivity. So if I am more productive in what I do and more efficient and effective in what I do, the company benefits, my family benefits, my community benefits, the country benefits, the government benefits. So it's something that affects everybody. So if we want a better Jamaica, we have to start with who? Start with me.
When we are more productive, our products and services become more competitive, and competitiveness leads to economic growth. The result of economic growth will see improvements in standard of living.
So productivity is a tool that will make people's life better. So if we are able to improve one workplace at a time over a short period of time, we hopefully will impact the economy in the whole.
Facilitating the country's economic growth is what drives the productivity intervention activities at the JPC. So through targeted approaches, the Jamaica Productivity Center works with private and public sector organizations to enable them to operate at maximum efficiency.
The aim of any intervention is to provide value added to our clients so that they can provide value added to their customers. And so we start off the engagement with a needs assessment, which would include our observations through audits, meetings, industry analysis, sector analysis, and looking at the firm level data, analyzing that to get a snapshot of where they are now and what the gaps are. Once we have identified those gaps, we would propose a roadmap of solutions for the client, and with a proposition for us to help them to improve their facilities.
One such solution is the productivity audits. In doing so, the JPC team will indicate where opportunities exist to eliminate waste, increase competitiveness, and improve bottom line.
What we may do may range from process improvement, it may be systems improvement, it may be capacity building in terms of the people building their knowledge and expertise in a particular area. Productivity is very broad, and it can be from the what we call triple M's, the man, the machine, or the method. So we look at all of those things, and the money. So we look at all of those factors to help to identify areas of improvement.
The Jamaica Productivity Center was initially engaged to assess the operational process of the freeform factory.
We engaged them through a partnership with JAMPRO, through the Export Max program, and they have continued the dialogue with us in terms of areas of productivity improvement. So when we first engaged Freeform Factory, we outlined a number of initiatives, one of which included looking at the area of waste and waste reduction.
For 1 week, a team from the JPC's Technical Assistance Services Unit walked the floors of the factory to gather data on expandable polystyrene waste, and used another 2 weeks to help Freeform to implement a system which tracked the waste. JPC then collected the data and carried out an analysis. Along the way, the JPC team also realized that Freeform's processes resulted in a high percentage of defects and rework, which contributed to the level of waste.
So if you shave,
yes, continue.
could you not use that shaved off piece as a product itself?
Yes. In the wreath, we also sell damage foam.
Oh.
So a customer might come in and say they want some damage foam. The shave off, say for example the shave off is like 1.5 inches or a 2-inch thick, we will sell it as damage foam to the customers.
At a cheaper rate?
At a cheaper rate. If we're cutting pipe insulation, a majority of these is generated from when we cut the pipe. And the housing that the pipe was in, when we break it up.
So what would be the next source? So if you had to rank, it would be piping, then next would be what?
When we shave
the blocks.
The blocks, yeah. Just to reject like the coating department when we have the reject at the end.
So you have a color code
Yes,
for the
but
different
each section is a color code. So this code is represented by the black for the £1. This one is the blue for the 1.25, and the green represent for the 1.5 and the red 1.75.
What I also realize is that they have different thickness. Yes.
Yes, because we range from 1.5 inches right up to 2 inches.
So what do you think about this section, Taka?
I think those should be placed, setting order. I mean, size by size. Yeah.
Okay.
And also, you said this is £1.
Yes.
But the color, I think it looks like a blue, not black.
No, I guess this is some error right there still, but this section is the £1.
So this section, we would recommend some 5S. Alright?
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
So we saw a number of areas where there was a lot of waste being generated, a lot of rework and defects happening. However, there was no measurement system in place. They didn't know how much and how it impacted their operations. So we engaged on a journey of reducing rework and waste at Freeform Factory.
That journey included an interactive workshop with all staff members, including management. Focus was placed on the importance and implementation of measurement systems and how to identify and eliminate waste.
Productivity, quality products at all time, and we state about it all the time.
I love that.
Teamwork.
Teamwork.
You know, everybody in the factory, they move as one family.
Very
and
good.
Make sure that everything that comes out of the family, the factory is well done.
Yes.
So when they reach to the destination, they don't have to come back and say this part is like it's perfect.
So it's not just putting out things and saying, all right, we produce stuff, but it's producing things in the shortest time or the best time that the clients can be happy, right? And they're good quality. Because anytime we have to do it over again.
But I waste time to do and waste the material and everything. It's on the key part at all times.
At all times, on point.
Tamar also reinforced the negative impact of low productivity and cited measures that can be applied to increase efficiency and effectiveness.
When you're not productive, things frustrating. You feel like you want to mash up the equipment sometimes when it don't work properly. You get stressed, you get sick, right? All kind of things happen. You have to miss work, and you can do as best, you can't even think straight. And we don't like stress. What we are doing is looking for ways or opportunities to help Freeform to grow and to improve, right? Wouldn't we all want to be in a place that's getting better and improving?
Critical to achieving effective and efficient levels of productivity is measurement, and this is highly recommended by the JPC. So from the workshop, Freeform Factory became more aware of how measurement will help them to understand trends in their business, how it will allow them to maintain a level of competitiveness, as well as how to use measurement as a baseline for performance in order to set goals for improvement.
Measurement also creates the baseline for success. If you can't measure it, you can't understand it. And the other thing it's saying is that if you can't understand it, then you can't control it. And then now the third thing says that if you can't control it, then you can't improve it. And that is very critical if you're on a path of wanting to improve, especially if you're expanding.
We at Freeform realizes that there has to be significant changes in our way we do business, the way we manufacture our process. And we're going to be taking your recommendations to improve on the measurement of our daily production. And we have done some of it, just that the information is not always captured. Hence, we are going to be insisting that this is done on a daily basis.
When companies implement proper measurement systems and maintain accurate records that they can provide to the JPC, it will help the Jamaica Productivity Center to analyze industries and sectors and provide important data on performance and competitiveness.
When firms actually measure and keep the data and supply us with that data, then we are able to compare that firm with other firms at the local level and at the international level and provide them with that sort of information so that they can see how well they're doing. Also, it helps us to get the buy-in from the general public on the importance of measurement, because we are in a culture where we don't think measurement is important. And so the more we're able to show that when you measure, you can actually improve, the general public will actually start to believe.
Data collected by the JPC team during the audit was used to calculate estimated cost for the waste that was generated over the 2-week period.
What we saw was that for that same period, Saturday to Saturday, that would equate to about 94,804.80. What that can do for you is to give you an idea. So it even goes back to the point of how important it is. Yes, you might sell it back and you might be earning again, but the fact of the matter is, in an ideal production line, you want to minimize any scrap as possible that is produced. And again, see, it goes back to controlling.
Putting figures to areas of waste and rework was an eye-opener for the Freeform Factory. The JPC team reinforced the importance of controlling waste by equipping the staff with tools and skills needed to identify and eliminate waste using the Kaizen 8 waste model. Areas of focus included defects, overproduction, weighting, non-utilization of people, transportation, inventory, motion, and excess processing.
Wrong information, that if you work with something or somebody gives somebody wrong instructions and then do something wrong, that also generates waste, right? So reworking items, right? So when you have a department to rework, right, that's a waste, right? So you must get it right the first time. The customer don't care if you rework something. They don't, they just want the product. So if you spend 10 more hours on it, they might pay you the same amount of money, so you lose it.
The next course of engagement was process improvement using the small Kaizen framework. Kaizen is a Japanese term which means continuous improvement, but the small Kaizen approach is specific to engaging all levels of staff to suggest and implement projects geared toward improvement. From the sessions, the staff was able to understand the current state of Freeform Factory and to identify problems and make suggestions for improvements. They then put corrective measures in place and carried them out.
The fabricator from the coating department, we did a lot of thinking after the workshop, and we have a lot of ideas, but we decided that we would work with 2 words, rework and productivity. And so with that, we went to our station and we did our work. We hear other teams saying we're not doing anything, but we did a lot. So even if we don't come out the winner today, we don't win a prize, in our hearts we're a winner because we work together. And we have been doing it all along, but we never really see ourselves as working together. We just come in, take instruction and follow the instruction, and we just work. Now, from the workshop, we were able to take away some things. We work, as I said, we did a lot of rework, so we started to minimize work. We did research on workplace productivity. We did a lot of things. We brainstormed and came up with a lot of ideas and work. So we, after brainstorming and put our ideas together, we have like the templates. We have a lot in a small area. So we decided we weren't going to do a lot of work, take on a lot of work. We'll just do what we always do, but do it smartly and differently. And that's what we did. We eliminate some of the template that we're not using now. We keep the ones in the same area, but easier to find. We turn the template, then we set them away that as you look at them, you would know this template you want. You just take it and go to it. And we were able to minimize the rework. And when we mesh the foam, put it to dry, we would check back on it as we go along and adjust what is, we correct what is there to correct, because sometimes the foam and the mesh don't really work together. So we get them to stay to be as one, and that helps us a lot, eliminate the rework, so that when it go to the machine, it just go through smoothly. And we had a lot of fun. We get things going. We feel a part. We have this sense of feeling that we're a part of Freeform. And so, we did our thing.
I work in the cutting department. We had some problem with the blocks, where they had water inside the blocks. We take out a few blocks different density, place them in different areas, set them for a period of time, then we go ahead and do a test cut. After 2 weeks, we cut and there was still water inside the blocks. So I'm thinking that we need to build a drying area, which we already have a building already constructed. We just need to set up a area where the blocks can be set so they can dry properly. And then we can go ahead and solve that problem. Because we have default moldings coming where they deform when we cut them because of the water. So we didn't come up with a solution. We found the problem but no solution as yet. We have the idea but it hasn't been put forth as yet. So in due time, it will be correct. Thank you.
Our team, Team C Mighty Warriors. Well, I'm from the coating department and we got a few workers to put Team C together. Actually, after when Mr. Taka show up, we work and rebuild and restuff, we saw a major problem on the backside of our factory. We need roof installment, table work, drainage segment. So me, Mr. Martin, Angel Salesman, the whole of us come together as one team, just put the work in, and after we say, all right, after we done the roof installment, we done the sunblock, because Mr. Edwards didn't like the foam them hiding out, can I say, we are hide from him, whatever. So we take with that, and say, all right, him can drive and say, everyone I work now. First and foremost, when we're working at the pipe segment, trust me, to me the condition wasn't good. I don't know if you don't have the condition eye something there, or me have it. That's how we get this. And then after we fix that, set a little base, me and Kema dig out the foundation to run the drainage, and then after that finish, we build a soaker wheel to collect the water, because we don't want to run the back flood out and cause more mosquito breeding, because you know what malaria do when it hit the body. So we come with that, and then after, we just come together one and say, all right, we group up everything as one and say, this is our teamwork. Mighty Warriors work, because it's a warrior work, I will just put in the warriors working. So thank you all.
All right, our group name is Team Strength. We proposed for the trolley, but apparently we see where the trolley weren't working, so we decided to design a table to help in the coating department. That is when the molding is run and it's coming up. Instead of we have 2 or 3 persons going back and forth, we see the initiative where we can eliminate like 2 persons and just build a table, a conveyor table all the way down, so the molding will just slide, so we can easily use 1 person to just take them off and pack them up. Thank you.
First, I must say thanks to my team members, especially Tony, who had put in a lot of work. And thank you for JPC, who had allowed us to deal with a lot of stuff that we had to deal with that we weren't paying much attention to. Like we have a lot of sample moldings that they were on the shelf all over the place. We actually had 2 projects, and this is the sample moldings. We sort them out, the ones that we're not using, like the damaged ones, we dispose of them and kind of set them out in a better form where when you go you can find exactly what you're looking for. And for the other molding, which we have both in stock and for customers, we didn't have sufficient space in the right. So we come together, decided that we would make shelves big enough to hold both those that is for customers and in stock. And we found out that it works very well especially when the customers come. They don't have to come all the way up the top to get it. They just come right here to the shutter, pick up, and it's much easier. We also did labeling, which make it much easier for you to find the moldings when you want them. And we have other stuff like the cooler box and all of that. They were also in there, taking up space over there. So the shelf was big enough that it could hold it. Now, we're not complete because we need to do another shelf which would accommodate the molding that are not yet coated and for other stuff. Well, as I said, that is in progress, and I just want to thank you guys for coming to give us this push. And I know for myself, it's not gonna end here because I see where it really works and help us to better organize.
That suggestion about the labeling fully, accepted, and so we have begun to see improvement. We are happy to have put up the safety signs, and we thank JPC for its commendation because they have noticed those changes. And as I said, I think that in addition to helping us to do things better, I think the fact that the staff are feeling the improvement. I mean, you'd be surprised how simple things can have a great impact on the morale of people.
They really appreciated the exercise, especially hearing from their peers how they felt about productivity and productivity improvement, and having the managers there as a part of that process. It was the first time they ever did anything like this.
I think that there was a lot of new knowledge. There are things that people are now seeing much more clearly, even though we've been talking about some of them. But I think the way you have been able to demonstrate it in the presentations and in the exercises that were done, I really felt, a very good reception in that room from the staff. And I think that they're all going back thinking, how do we reduce waste? How do we avoid rework? I think those concepts are going to stick in their heads. And I think the participation also shows the level of interest that the staff had in what was being suggested. We're very grateful for the intervention. We are sure that it is going to yield fruit for us.
And we are happy to see that we have seen significant improvement. So over the 2-week period, the Jamaica Productivity Center has helped the Freeform factory to save over 432,000 Jamaican dollars in the area of just reducing rework and waste in the organization, which translates to around $11.25 million per annum in savings for the company.
Freeform Factory has committed to continuing the implementation of other recommendations, such as improving their website and making adjustments to the layout of the factory space. This will allow for better workflow and operating processes.
We had just put up a new building, and so we're about to implement that recommendation in terms of how we lay out the building, how we improve the flow. All we think to ultimately make the factory do much better, produce better, reduce waste. We identified that we also needed to improve safety within the factory. We do have a manual, but we feel that there needs to be greater sensitization of the staff to the need for safety. And so we're very happy to say that, we are retaining JPC to come in and do that safety audit for us and to make recommendations and to help us with the implementation of an occupational safety and health policy for this organization. So we're completely on board with you, and we're looking forward to what you're going to be able to give to us in relation to the safety issues.
It makes us want to do more. It motivates us in our journey, because productivity is not an easy journey, and we can't do it by ourselves. So when we see persons trusting the process, embracing the process and getting the results, it brings us much joy. And our hope is that other organizations can see that it doesn't take a lot to do, and that it can be done, but we just have to make that first step and start and never stop improving.
It is this level of commitment that will drive the process of transformation to achieve a culture of productivity, which will enhance competitiveness and socio-economic well-being of all Jamaicans.